Greetings to everyone on my daily disaster news channel. The information in the video shows scenes that in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Severe flooding has struck Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, as torrential rains overwhelmed the city's infrastructure. Streets have turned into rivers and rescue teams are working around the clock to evacuate stranded residents.
أمطار جدا الخميس أمطار جدا. هنا صور هنا شوف المساحات شغالة.
And thunderstorms lashed parts of the UAE. People there have been advised to avoid beaches and stay indoors due to the extreme weather. The weather also affected traffic and flight operations. The police sent out an alert at 6:30 a.m., urging people to stay away from beaches and areas prone to flash floods and to exercise caution when driving. Passengers were advised to use the Dubai Metro, check traffic updates, and allow enough time to reach the airport. The Roads and Transport Authority announced the suspension of several bus lines across the city, including the E315 from Dubai to Sharjah and the E411 from Dubai to Ajman. Due to the flooding, Dubai police urged motorists traveling on Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road between Al Rashidiyah Bridge and Sharjah to exercise caution and use alternative routes. The Bureau of Meteorology
والله هذه امواج شوف سياره تنسحب تو العين دوس.
Mecca, Saudi Arabia. The Muslim holy city of Mecca is in the process of recovering after fierce storms and flash floods that continuously hit. Previously, Saudi Arabia had a very uneventful November when it faced nature's anger when strong storms hit the area, dispersing 70,000 tourists. The roads have turned into rushing rivers.
برودي خلينا برودي
Water in some places has reached levels several meters high, turning Mecca into a flooded, isolated and powerless metropolis where people face terrifying risks. About 70 tourists here were caught up in chaos when hail and floodwaters suddenly attacked.
ما شاء الله حاليا عاصفة قوية في غبرة الطو بولاية نخل. سقيا خير ورحمة ما شاء الله.
The emergency has pushed the ambulance service to their utmost limits as they battle against the ravages of nature. The floods were unforgiving, sinking shops and businesses alike, leaving the city's economy in shambles. Authorities had to declare a state of emergency and begin evacuating those most affected. The Ministry of Education announced the temporary suspension of classes at some schools and universities due to weather conditions. Local authorities are working around the clock to respond to the emergency, with emergency services at a high state of readiness. Aerial inspections are being carried out to assess the extent of damage and identify areas that need immediate help. Volunteer and civil protection teams are working around the clock to rescue people trapped in their homes or cars by the floods. The international community is closely monitoring the situation and providing help where needed. In another part of the country, H city in northwestern Saudi Arabia was flooded and traffic was chaotic due to heavy rain. Media reports said heavy rain that started Friday affected residents and worshippers of the city.
راح كالفرد راح الولد.
Local authorities are working tirelessly to respond to the emergency, and the ambulance service is at a high state of readiness. Continuous rain caused flash floods that flooded streets and created widespread chaos.
يا الله الله يستر الله يستر الله يستر الحين يجيبوا على هنا السيول الله يستر.
Meanwhile, Mecca residents are making every effort, calling friends and relatives to get through this crisis together. The government has directed strong resources and support to victims of this disaster, and Saudi Arabia has issued a strong statement of support for Mecca during these difficult times.
Oh my.
Aerial inspections are underway to assess the extent of damage and identify areas that need help most urgently. There are warnings of power outages in some areas, increasing difficulties in communicating and responding to the situation. Fire and ambulance crews are constantly working in hard-to-reach areas. Mecca's precious historical sites, including the Great Mosque, are at risk of being destroyed by irresponsible floods. Air Force and ambulance teams were deployed to deal with the emergency, while bridges and roads became desolate under the powerful currents. Volunteer teams and civil protection forces are working around the clock to rescue people trapped in their homes or cars by the floods. The international community is closely monitoring the situation and providing support as needed. On November 11th, the worst floods in decades occurred in Somalia and Kenya, killing dozens of people.
الله يا ولد يا ولد لا إله إلا الله.
Please join us every day to stay updated with weather information. Don't miss out, click the register button to support us.